with that said, let me just kind of lead in with former Navy SEAL, actor, model, right? With a smile like that, we have Remi Adeleke, okay? And he has joined us. Welcome.
Yeah. I heard you talk about book club. I hope you got my newest book, which is right there, Chameleon, in that book club.
Well, we can have Chameleon. And if our viewer wants to go and check it out and look for Chameleon, or go find Chameleon wherever, first of all.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chameleon and how you want to go check that book out, all right? So go find it. We'll have it posted up down below in the title so you can click on it. Thanks to Anton, my producer.
Yes,
so
sir.
Thank you. So welcome to the show, and what a cool life you've lived.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It's been a crazy journey, man.
Well, you do have a really beautiful smile. I just want to let you know that. And I don't think I say that because I saw you in like a jockey ad doing the ropes, like CrossFit and like some blue underoos.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
got to keep it tight, man. Got to keep it tight.
Well, you do. Now you're out of the military, right? You went Navy SEAL.
Yeah. I got out in 2016, January 2016.
So 2016.
Yeah.
How old were you when enlisted?
I joined in 2002. So I was in about 13 and a half years, because I joined in the summer of 2002 and got out about, in January 2016. So, yeah.
So some guys on the teams in the Navy SEAL teams have specific duties, such as like a breacher, radio guy. What was your, je ne sais quoi?
Yeah, I like that word. I got to use it in my writing. Je ne sais quoi. What's that mean?
That means like, what was your forte? What was your
special? I like that.
What je ne sais quoi do you bring to this environment?
No, I like that word. I want to use it, man.
Je ne sais quoi, yeah.
Is that French?
It is actually. Oui, oui.
Okay. Petit. I speak petit French. Oh, that's right. Just messing. But I was I was a medic, and I was also a human guy, which stands for human intelligence. So everybody knows what a medic is. I went to various combat medical courses, but then also a lot of people don't know what human intelligence is. So I went to a lot of different intelligence courses, learned tradecraft, learned how to run sources, learned how to build rat lines, and then how to semi-permissive and non-permissive environments, and just collect intelligence via human beings. So that was my je ne sais quoi. If I said that right.
Yeah, exactly. Or forte. I don't know why I'm speaking French. All of a sudden, it's like, what's your forte? Your je ne sais quoi. Monsieur.
Yeah. So, that's what I did in the teams. I enjoyed it. And I had growing up in New York City and the Bronx, the way I did, hustling and selling drugs and doing a lot of other stuff I shouldn't have been doing. That taught me how to read people, and it taught me how to maneuver in a way that kept me out of prison and kept me from getting killed. So interestingly, when I found my way into the human side of special operations, it was just like, hey, riding a bike again. It was a lot of the same principles and tools that were used in the streets, reading body language, reading people, building relationships, bringing on unwitting sources. All of that stuff was stuff I had done in New York City. So when it came to doing it in the teams overseas, it just all came natural. And even before I got overseas, when I was in the courses, the various schools that I went to, it was like I was in the class. I was just like, I know what this is. Now is just putting a terminology to it and the actual equations, so to speak. Just making it more structured and ceremony, if that makes sense.
Sure. You're almost like, is he referencing a carjack? Is that like you're gonna go up? You're gonna take the car under force. You're like, wait, carjack, right? Like, is that? Am I getting paid for this? Because I have talked to some other people in your community in the SEALs, and they've told me, yeah, Rad, we don't always need the Boy Scout. It's someone's got to kill grandma, steal the car, and complete the objective.
Yeah.
I mean, things have to happen, and somebody has to do that. And you could have the nicest smile all day, but you still need that car.
Exactly. Or you still need that source to give you that information so you can get to the target where the car is, right?
Exactly. And so when you say rat lines, are you saying like you're going to get people to be rats? Like, you dirty rat? Is that, or is it like...
No, rat lines is essentially creating routes, finding routes that are very clandestine, finding routes to move people in, move equipment in, for your partner force, or essentially for the nation that you're fighting on the side of. So it's essentially, being able to find a way to move personnel and equipment from a permissive environment to either a semi-permissive environment or a non-permissive environment. So it's essentially finding paths that work, and along those paths you will have, and I say this in quotes, sources who are indigenous personnel who are helping you find and create that path, and also move what needs to be moved into that non-permissive environment. So it's called a rat line because, rats are sneaky and they move underground, but these are not like literal underground paths. These are, figurative underground paths. They're paths that are out in the open, but they're paths that, we find that the enemy doesn't frequent, if that makes sense.
The patrol, like in Metal Gear Solid, you're like, you can just move through with your box.
That was one of my favorite video games back in the day.
I told you come sleep over, bro. It's just going to be chill. So it's like, for my listener out there, a little Metal Gear Solid action, and again, his favorite video game coming to life for him. And he's like, Snake. You're Snake, bro.
Solid Snake, man. I heard they're making a movie about it. Hopefully,
you saw Kurt Russell play Escape from New York, right?
Yeah.
That's the Snake is based off of him.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, because he did have the eye patch and all that.
Yeah, he had the eye patch. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Escape from New York. Yeah, Kurt Russell. Yeah. We should get him on too. We'll talk with you, me, Kurt.
Yeah. They probably have to de-age him with some CGI though to make it work.
Well, let's talk about old school Ninja Turtles that I grew up with in the 90s versus like the Ninja Turtles of today are all in blue suits with like the balls on top of their head. And Megan Fox is trying to like look up at these dudes that are not dudes, that are like blue screen guys to be Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. And in reality, I like the costumes from the 80s movie, or was it 80s?
90s, 90s.
Yeah, I like the costume better than the CGI,
It just made it more real, like size-wise, height-wise,
And the mouths were able to move, and the eyes blinked and all that. It was like fantastic. I don't know why they didn't just stick with that.
With the suit style. Yeah, well, you've been in some cool movies, bro. You did like Transformers, right?
Yeah, Transformers, Six Underground, Plane, Ambulance, Terminal List.
Ambulance is with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal, I played undercover cop in that one,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like a green jacket, maybe?
Green jacket? What do you mean?
Were you wearing a green jacket in that movie? What do you think?
No, it was like a blue jacket. I had on this. I had on a hat. I had on a Yankees fitted. I had on a. It was like a blue. I think it was blue. It was actually mine. I still have it. I kept it.
You're like, it's my jacket. Yeah. I'll bring it to the wardrobe.
Yeah, when I went to the costume department was the head costumer said, Bates, this is going to be your third film you've done with Michael, and he trusts your judgment. So how about, instead of you going through this rack of stuff, how about you just bring what you feel comfortable in, that you think you would wear as an undercover cop? And I did.
Yeah, so, exactly. It fits you. You already chose it.
Yeah. So,
you're not embarrassed to wear it. You're like, these shoes fit.
Exactly.
What was it like to go and get your first trailer on set, right? I mean, I remember mine. What was your first time you had like a little slice of the Honeywell wagon, maybe, and your stuff's hanging in there waiting for you with your sides and the daily. What was that like for you on your first set?
It was normal. It wasn't like anything that was exciting. It was just like, hey, I try to look at everything as just a job. Mm-hmm. I think when people idolize specific gigs, that's where where mistakes creep in, and that's where pride creeps in, and so on and so forth. So to me, it's just like a job. It wasn't like anything magical. It's like, okay, it's a trailer. This is where I got to come and change into my gear and get prepped and get ready and read my lines and get back into the fight. But it wasn't anything special to me.
Oh, I see. Because I've been in extras holding.
Oh, okay.
So let me tell you how excited I was to get a Honeywell wagon.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. And some craft services. Yeah. So I was just wondering so you got your
I've been extra holding before too.
Okay. Yeah. So you have been at the bottom of the echelon of the acting, getting on set, and then your first audition, you went in and just like nailed it?
I didn't even audition. It was I was in my office writing. I was in grad school getting my master's in organizational strategy. It was a business degree, and my phone rang, and there was a woman who worked with Michael Bay and said, "Hey, Michael's looking for somebody with your background as a SEAL to work tomorrow. Are you available?" I said, "Sure." She said, "All right, send me some pictures," and I sent her some pictures, and she showed it to Michael, and then about 2 hours later, she called me back and said, "You're in." And so it wasn't necessarily an audition. It was just a phone call. And that same woman had called me up for another gig earlier, which that's when I was in the extra holding thing, whatever the term is, and said, "Hey,
extra holding, that's what it is."
Yeah. She was like, "What are you doing today?" I was like, "Nothing." She was like, "Hey, can you come down to base and sit on a boat?" I said, "Sure, no problem." And so I think I've been blessed in that fashion, as I didn't have to like scratch and crawl and do all of the stuff that a lot of people have to do in order to, make it in the business.
Get their SAT card.
Yeah, it just can't. And it wasn't what I wanted to do. I was getting my master's because I wanted to go into, I had already started, but I wanted to continue down a path of business consulting. And so, that's why I was getting that's why I was writing papers when I got that phone call. And I still do it. I still, provide, corporate training and mental toughness and critical thinking training for pro athletes, collegiate athletes, and Olympians. In fact, this past weekend, I was in San Francisco, running a camp for St. Mary's rugby team. So awesome. That's kind of what I was geared up to do. So I say all that to say, circle back, when I didn't have to crawl too much and scratch too much in order to get it into gig. And then, once I worked on Transformers, cause I was actually going to be a consultant. I actually was a consultant on that film as well. And then once I did that, then that progressed to another job, which progressed to another job. And then I got an agent, and then my agent started sending me out for auditions. And then I realized that I don't want to be in front of the camera. I prefer to be behind the camera as a storyteller. So I got into writing films, and then that got me into the WGA, the Writers Guild of America. And then, I just started progressing from there. Now I'm a director. I'm a writer-director. So, gearing up to direct I've done 3 shorts, but now gearing up to direct a feature that I wrote.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know that's awesome. That's total respect, just going after it, especially with still pursuing the education, the physical, health aspect of maintaining yourself. I'm sure you still are going to the gym or doing, mental toughness every day style of, how can somebody reach you through us to, try to see if you would be available for their public speaking, and how would they do that?
They could just reach out via, again, a lot of my clients via social media. I do have a website, kedgeway.com. So, through our website, we offer, a few different services, not just apparel, but also our one-on-one mentorship, but then also our corporate and, athletic camp. So people could reach out via our website, or, I get most people reach out to me via social media. I get a lot of people that are like, I can't find your email, or I don't want to go through all the rope, jump through the hoops to get to you, but I'm just going to shoot my shot and DM you. And I have a good team, so we all monitor my inbox, so people can get at me anyway.